Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
Boost your career today. Visit ecc.edu.jm and register now for an exciting short course at Excelsior Community College. The time brought to you by Excelsior Community College is
10 o'clock.
Cliff Hughes Online. Talk radio for all.
Good morning, good morning. Good morning to you, listeners. Thursday, June 25, beg your pardon, June 25, 2026. For many people, it's payday, and payday is always a good day. Yeah, I notice I say for many people, not all. Yeah, because some people. Good to be out in the country once again. I continue to go to places that I've never been to before. I'm in Darliston, Westmoreland, at the Darliston Holiness Christian Church for the final stop on the STC, Ministry for Local Government and Community Development's Community Church Cleanup and Restoration Initiative. Final stop, final handover of grants in this phase of the project. May I say before I get on the way that two ladies this morning, Tamoy and Robian, did well hosting that morning program. I rather enjoyed it, and I'm fearing for my job now because they just might take with a little work, you know what I mean? Tana returns next week, and Tana, look like we're going to find something else to do. Look like Ruben and Tamoy have taken us out of useful employ. So Turn on yourself, we'll find a way. And you do too much. It's just one less thing for you to do daily. This morning, I want to talk about the Parliament again. And I won't take too long over it. We have a heavy program here this morning in terms of the things that we are obliged to do on the side of the people who've contracted us to be here. But I wanted to bear with me. You would know by now that I pay a lot of attention to what happens in UK politics. I've said it many times. And there is a rot that defines British parliamentary proceedings and interactions that didn't start now, that started a long time ago, that was left unaddressed, and which has now caused a rot that defines those same interactions and proceedings. And I use that example as the basis to fret about whether the things we're seeing in the Jamaican Parliament now, if we leave them unattended, if we could get to the place of rot that the UK is. You know, many people argue that, George, you're rather late on this old chap because it's already rotten inside Gordon House. And that would be a fair argument. What I would say to anyone who says that is that, well, I believe it can get worse. And me drawing attention to it is so that it does not get worse. But of course, I'm only one man. Nationwide is only one station. I don't believe that I alone can do it. And I don't believe that this station alone can do it. Nor is the it I'm talking about. The it I'm talking about is bringing us back from the pit of disgusting behavior, the immature interaction, the puerile exchanges, the visceral comments, the childishness, the dunceness, the rank out of orderness, the bellicose and warlike approach that rears its ugly head. Who doesn't even rear its ugly head? Because to say that something rears its ugly head suggests that there are times when that ugly head is obscure. And then the ugly head rears. Yeah? This is how our parliament is, and I'm saying, if we're not careful, someone will walk from one side of the house and box someone on the other side in the face. Believe me, that's where we're headed. Or someone will use what I call the national disrespect, SYM. That's going to be very audible in the parliament, not too long from now, if we continue on the path we're at. As a child, the parliament was an example to me. And you knew that notwithstanding how the politics would cut and thrust on the political hustings, where you expected no charity, you expected the conversations to be robust, you expected the barbs to be plentiful, you expected the petards to be thrown around liberally, you expected card for draw. You expected a little bit of rough housing on the political hustings on the campaign trail outside of Parliament, but when those same men and women went inside Gordon House decorum and order, and the barbs became wit. What was a barb on the outside? It was now a comment of wit. Ribaldry, Ribaldry, coarse humor, would now pervade in the parliament, where crassness would have been the order of the day outside. So there was this skill by those operating to be one way outside the house and a better way inside. And we accepted that. Parliament is not for children. It's where you go to prosecute arguments. So it's not child's play. But what's happening now is, boy, it seems even mild to say it's disgraceful. Saw a video, may have been on the weekend, of what appears to be, and I'm stressing there appears to be, people feeding up people in Parliament. And at first I refused to believe, because I'm saying, well, AI, why are these people using AI to cast certain people as bad actors in the legislature? But then I asked questions. One of the good things being in this profession and serving in capacities that I've had is that you have good relations with the technical people, those who do the directing and the camera work, friends and colleagues of mine. And so I was moved to ask them who did the filming, or as we say in Jamaica, and I pray that I don't make this mistake. I say it too much off air to not be, them film it. Yeah. The man who film Parliament, children, okay? But the man who film the something, record it. Say, yeah, George, I know AI. And whatever little hair I have left, I scratched through them to find my scalp at an imaginary point of itching as I tried to soothe myself in light of this ridiculousness. And I'm watching the Parliament myself, and I see cell phones being used on both sides of the house in a way that mobile phones ought not to be used inside the Parliament. And I acknowledge the efforts that have been made by the Speaker to enforce the rules as set down. Very commendable efforts, and I support those efforts 100%. But the enormity of the task is such that some things are going to be left unchecked. And there needs to be rules set down, or new rules about the use of mobile devices, people openly. And I'm going to, well, on there, a Parliament, Midday one party. Midday, I love soccer. That's where we are. And me a bubble and I show my friend how me a bubble. And I film it. Is that what we want for our Parliament? Let me answer for you, no. Take the break and come back.
Time brought to you by the Ministry of Energy, Transport and Telecommunications. Fueling growth everywhere is
10:15.
This is Nationwide's World Cup Team Profile. Brought to you by KFC. It's finger licking good.
Curacao achieved a historic first ever qualification for the FIFA World Cup in November of 2025 when they held on for a 0-0 draw in Kingston, Jamaica against the Reggae Boys and secured their spot in the tournament. With a population of roughly 160,000, they became the smallest nation to ever qualify, shattering previous records. The team, managed by Dick Advocaat, went undefeated in their qualifying campaign. Look out for Curacao, another CONCACAF representatives at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Follow their progress right here on Nationwide 90 FM, who are carrying extended coverage of the FIFA World Cup.
That was Nationwide's World Cup Team Profile. Brought to you by KFC. It's finger licking good.
How to change a tire, ride a bicycle, do your math homework. Dads spend their lives teaching us lessons and helping us grow securely. Open a CIBC Caribbean fixed deposit account to honor Dad and make lump sum deposits for birthdays, holidays, special occasions, or simply to express your appreciation and enjoy the returns. Deposit $250,000 or more and you'll receive a hardware store gift voucher for Dad. Open your account today at CIBC Caribbean. Conditions apply.
Turn up to 25, turn up to 25. Could I drive out fresh in a MG ride with a staycation, all inclusive flex? Yeah, I touch a million cash. Yes, smart TV, PS5, and home upgrade.
Turn up your winnings this summer with Digicel. Sign up or switch to postpaid or Digicel Plus. Buy a SIM, top up with 5 bills or more. Buy a 7-day plan or higher, a smartphone deal, or just pay your bill. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Promotion period June 24 to September 5, 2026. Visit DigicelJamaica.com for terms and conditions.
Appleton at the bar, come join me. A drink is just $3.50.
The recommended selling price for Appleton Estate Signature at your nearest community bar is only $350 per drink and $2,100 per flask. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
If you've ever called in, shared your story, or got help on this show, then you're already family. Now make it official. Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club today on Patreon.
Cliff Hughes Online. Talk radio for all Jamaicans.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright.
Welcome back to Cliff Hughes Online. Coming to you from the Darlaston Holiness Christian Church in Darlaston, Westmoreland. Driving here, I saw evidence of what Melissa really did to homes in this part of the country. I've seen from we turned up. Where did we turn up? We turned up at Middle Quarters to come up. Yeah, so from that turn at Middle Quarters in St. Elizabeth to come up Betheltown, Newmarket side, come up into Darlaston. I would have seen more homes with, tarpaulins on the roof or damaged roofs than there are homes with roofs that were not damaged. Oh, it's a hell of a thing, man. And this is months later, so you can imagine in the immediate aftermath how it looked. People are resilient, and through their representatives and of course through their own endeavor, they are working to get their lives back on even keel. Back to this matter now. I see Mona Smith in the chat saying, George, there's a difference between recording on your phone and using your phone. Yes, Mona, I agree. And I have no problem with someone using their mobile phone in the parliament. Absolutely not. Happy you raised that argument so I could point that out. Not a problem. In this day and age, you can't have a cabinet minister or an MP sitting in the house for 2, 3, 5, 7 hours on a Tuesday or a Wednesday or a Friday or even a committee meeting that goes long and be cut off from their mobile phone. That would be like punishment. So yeah, man, of course, use your phone, not a problem. What I'm calling out is what I see like people are recording themselves. I hear that people were going live. It's ridiculous. So I'm talking about that aspect of it, Mona. Not people using their phone, sending messages. Not at all. I mean, as journalists, it's been a long time we have been messaging people inside the chamber, whichever party is in power, whoever is opposition, to ask for clarity on certain things, and we get a little text message response. So yeah. So that's not the issue. And I know that there's a certain parliamentarian who either has made themselves the pantomime villain of what I'm calling parliamentary indecency, or has been cast as such by people watching the parliament. And it's not just about the conduct of that parliamentarian alone. And on that point, may I say that, look, you know, we're quick to write off people, you know. And how do I say this? Alright, let me say it the way I'm thinking it. As someone who was once young, like we were all that, I understand very much that when you're young, you're going to do some foolishness, you know. You're going to make mistakes. And if you're young and you achieve some form of success, and getting voted into the House of Representatives is success. Yeah, it is success. And people will say, well, if you get voted in traditional so-and-so seat, it don't mean nothing. I reject that argument. Because people have lost traditional seats. So to get voted into the House of Representatives, it's a credit to you. And it is success. And when young people achieve success and want to make an impression, foolishness can follow. And there's another F that describes what can happen, but it's not fit for your play. But use your imagination. Starts with F and it ends with Y. It has a C and a K in it and a R. I'll leave it there. Yeah? Nora, some of you stop. Thank you, Nora. But when you're young, you're prone to these kinds of things. We must not be quick to write people off like that. There must be some room for counseling, guidance, and advice. And no person cast as or playing the role of parliamentary villain or parliamentary pantomime villain is beyond correction, is beyond redemption. And I want to say two things with that point as the pivot. Having spent some time reading again the standing orders for the House and looking at various related things in what they call the Bible of Parliament in the Westminster system, Erskine May, there is more than enough merit in the argument that our standing orders need to be amended to reflect the modern realities of Parliament. And I don't think, like some people, that the amendments that are needed are far-reaching. We don't need a revolution. You just need some changes. And there are many things that our Parliament does right. But one of the things our Parliament doesn't do right is to govern their own procedures that dictate how they do the business in either house. And I say that because there was an article written by Balford Henry in the Observer leading up to the 2016 election, calling attention to a Senate committee, a standing orders committee that had met 28 times after a motion was moved by then Senator Arthur Williams to change the standing orders. 28 meetings from 2012 to 2016. We're in 2026 now. You show me where there have been a set of changes agreed on and implemented. So our legislators get bogged down on the Tuesday with very important business. I'm not disputing that. But then in the committees that they have to discuss these changes, recommend these changes, and then to see that the changes are implemented. Nothing happen, and they meet 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 and they go and meet until thy kingdom come. No changes. That's one. So I say that to say that I believe that changes are needed to reflect the modern reality. The second thing I think that is necessary. Orette Bruce Golding is alive and well. Percival James Patterson is alive and well. Portia Lucretia Simpson Miller is with us, but there are some challenges, all right? There are other senior politicians retired from the game, alive and well. Saw John Jr. in the supermarket recently, and he was walking with the aid of a stick. But man still look strong same way and still look the same way. John Jr. as health minister when I just started high school, and I don't think he looks older than he did then. And apart from the walking stick, I thought myself, with John Jr. bathing at the fountain of youth. But anyway, the point I'm making is this. I believe now is the time for a council of retired parliamentarians to get the leader of the house, in the, leader of government business in the house, leader of the house, in both chambers, to simplify. The opposition representative, meet with them. In fact, how I do it, I'd ask for a meeting of the joint houses of parliament. Bring everybody together. Have a general conversation about decorum and rules and following the rules, obeying the speaker. You notice I use the word obey. I know words. So I'm going to choose any other word. Instead of obey, I'm using obey for a reason. Obey the rulings of the speaker. And then after you have that general session, you pull the house leaders in both chambers on both sides of the aisle with the speaker and her team. And you have another intense discussion. And you agree on a way, a path, that the rules as they are will be obeyed. Where consistency in the granting of leeway is clear. So, grant leeway here, but in the same circumstance on that side you don't grant the leeway, so that somebody can say, but boy, you're unfair, you're not being balanced. So the group of elder parliamentarians lead that discussion. Have the minds meet. I hate that phrase, you say, but can't do it better right now. Have the minds meet. Have a way of how you're going to do business of parliament going forward, and let us move, because I'm telling you it can't continue. And if you think it's a stretch, I'm saying to you, listen, being a licensed firearm holder gives you a certain level of confidence. Regular men, and it's mostly men, regular men who would hear something and relax, hear something and get heated because I have a gun. And oftentimes he gets heated at someone who don't have a gun. Really do you see man with gun get heated at man with gun? Yeah? But it's always a man with a gun hyping on a man who don't have a gun. And in the sense of our parliamentarians, so you have gun, you have CPO with gun. You might see a parliamentarian on the other side who you probably think already know that he's not a licensed firearm holder. He just might say something and you just fly across the aisle and box him. it is not something that is far-fetched given where we are going. And do we want that? Is that what it will take for Golding, Patterson and others to offer to broker peace between the parliamentarians, to set out an approach that will see the Speaker's rulings being respected? And to remind Madam Speaker that, Madam Speaker, your job is hard enough because, you know, and you have to be a consistent, you know, you apply everything. And it's hard, but it's possible. Have that conversation. Will it take something like that for that to happen? I'm saying it does not have to, because it hasn't happened yet. So make a note. On this day in sports, Nora Gay Banton, Thursday, June 25 at 10:30 a.m. I, through this program and this radio station and the company that owns this radio station, calling on our senior parliamentarians, see if you can take the aggro out of the parliamentary relations. The youngsters that are errant in their ways and seem hell-bent on destroying themselves and the parliament, don't write them off. Talk to them, counsel them. They are not beyond redemption. Those who are openly disrespecting the Speaker. See, you wake up and you put on your makeup and say, how me can this that girl today? What do we need to do to act to cause someone to not harbor those thoughts anymore? Because it seems as if some people go there and that's how they prepare. They're prepared to go to the parliament. And I feel even bad verbalizing what I think the thought is, because I feel like I'm disrespecting the institution of the house of the Speaker of the House of Parliament if I'm verbalizing that. That's how bad that is to me. And while you're at it, senior parliamentarians who I'm calling on this morning, you need to act now, because this thing about, oh, the people of so and so and so sent me here. Newsflash. Every single one of UNO in the House of Representatives was sent there by constituents in a constituency. So the fact of your constituent sending you there doesn't give you any special allowance above anybody else. Stop saying it. And stop using it as a pivot point to be disrespectful and disorderly. You know, I feel like, as Golding said years ago when he was Prime Minister, Bruce, as if I'm spitting in the wind. And I never knew I'd live to see the time when my parliament is replete with bad behaving people. People who know better. That's the tragedy of it, you know. The people know better. But you have a kind of leadership in parts of the parliament that is weak. What the pastor one did said, Nora, jellyback? Yeah, man, weak. Some leaders in the parliament, like them left them balls at home. Them they carry it to garden house. So they can't impose any authority, any leadership. And if they can't, then elder parliamentarians, draw them together and give them a basis to bring them balls to the parliament with them when they go on a Tuesday or when they go to committee meeting. Break time. refer quickly to a couple comments in the chat before I do my first interview of the morning. Courtney McGregor says, George, you lose your balls too. You're afraid to call names. People who don't watch Parliament would not know what you are talking about. No, Courtney. No, man. Listen, you see, thankfully for me, I've done some what I consider to be good things, both in the sporting arena and where the news is concerned. I'm comfortable. Never been afraid, never will be. If it ends today, I'm a happy camper. I've tested myself at the highest level, and I've proven to myself that I belong at the highest level. So, and if the worst come to the worst, Courtney, I can raise chicken in a brother, yeah, and raise hog. So, yeah, and I can care for race sauce. So there must be something for me to do. So if all this goes, I have no problem. That's why I'm not afraid to speak to authority. However, the reason I highlighted your point is this. Calling names, and I see a lot of you attaching titles to some people in the Parliament who you believe are responsible for the degradation of standards and conduct. It's not useful, you know. It's not useful. Rather than condemn them, it is to ask for them to look in the mirror, self-reflect, and to ask for them to be helped. Because we want the situation to be better. Condemning the people not going to help. So I don't know. You know who may attack. Why you don't write the name in the chat? You understand? But you accuse me of, come on now. That is not me saying you want, not helping. I want to help. So even my commentary has been mild, well, I believe. Because I don't want people to feel as if I am attacking them. What I want people to feel is that I care enough about the situation to ask for them to be helped. That's my mission, Courtney. So understand it for what it is. Never scared, brother. Never. Absolutely never. All right. That's that. And I hope that we can agree that as a country we deserve better from our parliamentarians and that we demand better. And for people who've raised teenagers now, and I have one teenager who's very well behaved, so I don't have the problems certainly that I gave when I was a teenager. If you have young people dealing with and you speak to them in an aggressive manner, you put them down, it's like hard for you get compliance from them, you know. So it is better you try a soft approach as you try to help. And maybe it'll come to a point in a Courtney where rather than hugging, you may have to beat somebody with a belt buckle. You know what I mean? That may have to happen. Yeah? Anyway, enough of that. Community Church's Cleanup and Restoration Initiative Grand Ceremony. This is the final stop. And Omar Frith has teleported to be beside me once again. Yes? And last stop, and Omar, we spoke a lot yesterday about what has gone into various aspects of this initiative. We spoke substantively about the follow-up to ensure that what is granted is spent in the approved manner. This is the final stop, so I ask, you are here, you've been 4 places before, place number 5, just sum it all up for me.
Morning again, George, and of course, good morning to your listeners and viewers.
Yes.
We're very, very excited.
Hold on, Omar. I don't think you're coming through. Oh, you have on the wrong mic. The wrong microphone. Go again. Come on.
Good morning.
Yeah, there you go. Go ahead, man.
Good morning again, George.
Yes,
of course, good morning to your viewers and listeners.
Yes, sir.
I want to say we are very grateful that we are now at the final leg in this phase.
Mm-hmm.
And what we've seen so far are grateful churches.
Yes.
Churches that have demonstrated resilience, but churches who are also willing to improvise and to be creative with the small resources that they would have received.
Yes.
What we have noticed, George has mentioned yesterday, there are many, many churches that did not have the opportunity to apply in the first set. And so they have continued to reach out to us for support, and as best as we can, we'll do what is possible. But for Westmoreland, today, Westmoreland, as you know, was among those that had the most devastating effect from the hurricane. And when we look at some of the photographs and visited some of the locations and saw the damage, our hearts went out for the leadership of those churches and the members, because we know that the grant ranging from 85,000 up to 250,000 cannot rebuild completely. But persons have started to do what they can, and our resources will help with those minor repairs and clean up. So we're happy that even though for some it's a drop in the bucket, we know that in Jamaica we say every little make a muckle.
That's right.
And of course, as we did say, churches remain very, very active partners with the SDC on several community projects, and we are very eager to see them back to at least, if not full 100% strength, close to what they're accustomed to being, and continue the great work.
Yeah, and to extend the truism, I mean, a bucket, an empty bucket, is worse off than a bucket with a drop in it.
100%.
There you go. There you go. Anyway, so here's the thing now. You would have said how many applications you received across the various parishes, and Westmoreland being hardest hit. How many people, how many churches applied for a share of the funds this time?
99 applied initially. However, we had made room for 3 additional churches.
Yes.
So we'll be looking at 102 presentations for Westmoreland.
Yes.
The additional persons who called would have just missed the application deadline, and they appealed, and we had the space to accommodate them. This brings the total to just over 420 across the 5 parishes. Westmoreland having the largest of the 5.
Yes.
St. James would be the 3rd yesterday, and of course St. Elizabeth has the 2nd largest number. We did 101 in St. Elizabeth, and so Westmoreland today saw the lion's share of the allocation.
Yeah. You know, 420 churches alone.
Yes.
And I just want to stress that, because where community development is concerned, and doing things that you can't put something to benefit the whole community touching every facet. So what you want to do is to support that organization that has the potential to reach as far throughout the community as possible, if not reach the whole community with its tentacles.
Yes.
And the church is the best such organization, I'm sure you'll agree.
We agree, because as we mentioned previously, while we appreciate the fact that it is well known that churches serve a spiritual purpose, so religious sacraments are recognized and identified in the institution. But beyond that, churches are very dynamic in their service to communities, and it ranges from their spiritual sacraments to their counseling services, psychosocial interventions, to community development projects. So you are able to reach a wide cross-section of persons, ranging from youth to the elderly, and those who are in between. So when you look at the cohort of residents across Jamaica, across communities, the church is touching almost every single demographic. And so by helping the churches, we're helping multiple sectors across the communities. So I believe the government, the Prime Minister, made a very wise decision to announce this grant, and I'm happy that under the Ministry of Local Government we are able to support the ministry's initiative to make this a reality.
The last time I asked you about additional funds for the thing, you were holding on to the information because you said, listen, it's not my place to make the announcement. Allow the minister to do his thing. The minister did announce on that same day. So now we know how much more is being sought. So let's look to the future now, Omar Frith. Based on what you have learned from this application process, based on what you've learned from the arrangements made around the grant handover aspect of the program, how will you tweak it going forward where the application is concerned and everything concerning the grant initiative for the additional 50 million that the minister says will be made available to the SDC to do more of this kind of activity?
You know, I've never thought that anything we do is perfect. But I must commend the staff for the quality of the application form and process that was developed. We have done some reviews, and the application is excellent online. What we're going to do more of is, you know, when we just made the advertisement, we're still in the throes of recovering from the hurricane. So internet connectivity was a challenge, and we do recognize the number of persons who are not able to get online. So we have to do a lot more work in doing the legwork to make people aware that the applications are open, so that people don't feel left out. So that's a major lesson we learned, that there are many persons who did not have the opportunity to access the applications online, and many did not get to our parish offices within the requisite time. So our officers on the ground will do a lot more to get out the information and get to the various churches. Be a bit more proactive in ensuring that we have sufficient applications. What we also internally, as you know, just to distribute the grants that were allocated come at a cost to host these events.
Administrative cost, yeah, man. It's significant.
Another significant cost.
Yes.
And I must confess that while we knew we had the capacity to do it, we underestimated the cost that it was going to incur. So we have to plan better. From what people are seeing, they would not know that we're concerned about that. That's a reality.
Right. Yes.
The events have been coming off very well, but internally we have to sit down and plan ahead of time in terms of making requisite allocations.
Yeah.
Cosmetics and other pharmaceutical items at Mannings Hill Pharmacy, located at 34A Mannings Hill Road, Kingston. Telephone 924-6280. At Mannings Hill Pharmacy, they stock all the hard-to-get medication. The time by Mannings Hill Pharmacy is
10:55.
This is Nationwide's World Cup Team Profile. Brought to you by Barita, making money work for you.
Japan has established itself as a consistent Asian powerhouse in the FIFA World Cup, qualifying for every tournament since their debut in 1998 along with Jamaica. The Samurai Blue have reached the round of 16 four times: 2002, 2010, 2018 and 2022, famously topping groups containing giants like Germany and Spain in 2022. Japan, one of the teams to look forward to in the FIFA World Cup of 2026, and you can follow their progress right here on Nationwide 90 FM during its live and extended coverage of the greatest show on earth.
That was Nationwide's World Cup Team Profile. Brought to you by Barita, making money work for you.
From the farmers in the fields, to the bakers who prepare it, to the teams that deliver every day, Juicy is built by Jamaicans. To our partners, thank you for standing with us. Juicy Patties, serious Jamaican food. Stepping confidently into a new year starts with one simple, powerful word. Yes! Say yes to new beginnings. Say yes to a secure future. Say yes to living the life you love with your family. With health and life insurance from Sagicor Life, we're here to give you the protection and peace of mind you deserve in 2026. All you have to do is say yes to what matters most. Call 888 Sagicor to speak with an advisor today.
Multi-link, access every time, everywhere I go. Multi-link, 24/7 access for me. It's just a win-win when we use multi-link. This card is Jamaican built, yeah. Fast and secure, you can use anywhere. Spend while supporting the economy. Look for the multi-link logo on your card and benefit from Jamaica's largest debit payment network. Multi-link, 24/7 access for me.
What would I do without my multi-link?
It's on here now. The goalkeeper's beaten.
Football fever is on, and Anybet, a proud sponsor of Nationwide 90 FM's World Cup coverage, is turning the excitement all the way up this Friday, June 26th. Join your favorite station live on location at Anybet's company-owned store, 7 Halfway Tree Road in Crossroads, from 1:30 to 4 p.m. Come for the vibes and stay for the giveaways, the trivia, and interactive games as we celebrate our partnership. Plus, learn more about the Pick Your Play promotion and all your betting options. Don't miss the fun, prizes, and football energy. Powered by Anybet and Nationwide 90 FM, where every play is your winning play.
Here's Mbappe! Oh my word!
Radio coverage of the FIFA World Cup has never been this pivotal.
The 2026 staging will be a drive time event. Given the times, the games will be played.
You'll definitely be on the move during a large portion of the games or unable to be in front of a television.
And that makes a Nationwide's coverage of the World Cup even more important, as you'll not miss a beat, whether you're in your car or generally on the move.
Alvaro Pereira hit by Hammers! Oh, what a goal!
So make Nationwide 90 FM your company, your partner, and your source for unmatched coverage of the FIFA World Cup Finals this summer.
Now, they have got 7. It's Brazil 1.
Take us with you every move you make. June 11 to July 19, when the champions of the world are crowned. Morning after morning, you've made Nationwide 90 FM part of your routine. So let's take this connection one step closer. Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club and be part of it officially on Patreon.
Family. Super healthy, super happy. SuperMed located in Kingston, St. Thomas, Portland, and St. Mary. The time by Supermed Family of Pharmacies and Hugh and Den Pharmacy is
11 o'clock.
Our phone numbers are 630-9371, 630-9372, 630-9373, and 630-9374.
Nationwide 90 FM Cliff Hughes Online coming to you from the Darliston Holiness Christian Church in Darliston, Westmoreland for the Community Church's Cleanup and Restoration Initiative Grant Ceremony, the final stop on this series of 5 visits to parishes hit hardest by Hurricane Melissa. And what the government did was roll a pool of funds together and identified a cause and said, all right, let's deal with churches that were damaged by Hurricane Melissa in these parishes, and they put an application form online and invited applications. If you thought your church deserves a piece of the action, you applied, and the SDC says the overwhelming majority of applications were approved. And in the case of Westmoreland, where we are today, there were 99 applications before the window for applications closed, and they got 3 late applications saying, boy, we didn't know, well, we had trouble getting online, so we're putting in our bid. We know the deadline has passed, but oblige us. And they were obliged. So 99 plus 3, 102. So they're handing out 102 checks today. And they did what, Nora? 101 in St. Elizabeth. So both St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland accounting for 203 of the 420 churches that have been, that are being assisted under this initiative. Of course, they went to Trelawney, they went to St. Elizabeth, they went to Hanover, they went to the other parish is St. James, right? And now Westmoreland rounding out the 5. All right. We can squeeze in a couple of calls before the formal ceremony begins. I just saw the Member of Parliament for Eastern Westmoreland, Dr. Dayton Campbell, come into the ground. And I think he's inside now. So yeah, if you want to opine on anything in the news over the past few days, or you want to talk about the World Cup, talk about your Brazil, then you are free to give me a call in this moment. My good friend, one of my good friends in the JCF, a senior man, I'll just say Jabi, he called me, well, I was messaging him about a matter, and he said to me, you know how Brazil look? A big Brazilian fan. And I said, well, what I can say about Brazil is that they have looked better with each game. Didn't seem at the races against Morocco at all, and Morocco missed the chance to finish them off. Yeah, but they looked better against Haiti, and they looked better again, even better against the Scots, even though the Scots gifted them the first goal and were rather charitable in their defending against the Brazilians. But the Brazilians looked the part, and they improved gradually, and that's the best that can be said of them. A pink shirt, man. Yeah, so the Brazilians are looking better with each game. You know, I've been wondering if I should say this, I've been wondering if I should say this. Sometimes you have to weigh your comments, because your comments can be damaging. Yeah? And, there's no reason why I shouldn't say this. So hear me now. I thought I'd seen every team at the tournament, but there are 48 teams at the World Cup in the USA, Mexico, and Canada. 48 teams. I've seen every team except Jordan. I have not seen Jordan yet. And depending on what time they play today, if they play after I get back to Kingston, I'll definitely watch them to complete the set. But I've seen every team except Jordan, so I've seen 47 of the 48. Every single team I've seen so far at the World Cup is better than the Reggae Boys. And I'm not saying that to be uncharitable. Here's the thing. International football and football in general, it's about the ability to advance the ball from your defensive third all the way up to the offensive third. You can pass the ball all the way up there with the players in the various segments of the team involved. Every single team at the World Cup I've seen, and I've seen 47 of the 48, can do that with comfort. Jamaica struggles to do that. Our centre halves get it, boom, 30-yard pass, boom, 40-yard pass, boom, 30-yard pass, boom, 40-yard pass. And if they pass the ball from back to front, the long ball, 20 times in the game, they probably hit their target, meaning they land it on the forehead or the chest of their teammate maybe 5 times out of the 20. So you're giving the ball away 15 times effectively. And that's just basic. We don't even to get into deeper analysis than that. And I say to myself, well, you know, we shouldn't feel bad not being there, because the standard at the World Cup is higher than the football that we play, especially against good opposition. Against weak opposition, we can look decent. But every single team I've seen at the World Cup is stronger than what we've seen from our reggae boys in recent time. And hear me now, because we know no love. Somehow don't hear in a cursive when people speak in a script. Obviously, Jamaica has better individual players than several of the teams I've seen at the tournament. That's a fact. Several of our individual boys in those teams I've seen in the World Cup would enhance those teams. But as a collective, the man them play better ball now. Anyway, I hear that Christy's online. Good morning, Christy.
George.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Morning.
I talked to you some weeks ago, and you promised was to talk back to me. And
talk to me now.
Anyhow, what I'm saying to you now. So, you hear me?
Yeah, man, you're loud and clear.
Yeah, there is something serious, very serious that's going on in this country, which I need to speak out that people can hear what is happening. See?
What's that?
Two things.
Yes.
Someone in the title office that transferring of people houses that the government need to know about. That person, they have transferred 2 houses for me. One 2015 and one 2016, 2017. And them sell it. It is there in the title office. The name of the person who signed, who sell the houses. It is there. And the next thing, I have the chairman sue me. And then the liar that them used to say to me, sell the house and him have the money in his pocket. And they go to court with 13 different judges within a chamber. Every time everyone go put it off. Until now, the 20th of April last year, the last judge tell him must go and bring the money, come put it in the bank and bring the document, come show. And this man take the money, they don't do a thing. They always do the liar that was working for me, what they call them here, should drop the case. So we need to the government to find out which man in the government office that's transferring people land without even do 2 for me, then can God bless the amount that they do. So we need to know that's why the government must do something about it. Then to find out those 2 men, them that man who transferred the house in them, right? 2, the judge, the 13th judge that look at the case and put it down, we need to know them. Why them don't try the case? Why they can't get the money? The man have the money, and not everybody that have bank, the man have money in pocket. And the judge won't try the case and not even ask him about the way of the money. It's just the other day when we ask the liar, when we they ask the judge what the man wants the liar, pay the money. He tell the judge, he will tell the judge a lot of bullshit. They will ask him how long he wanted to put the money in the bank. He tell him 4 months from April last year until now. His name is Anthony Williams, and he's the liar that have the money.
Hold on. Remember now, I have no proof that a lawyer by the name you've mentioned is involved in the way that you've said it. That's just your opinion. I can't, and I don't want to amplify that. So you can't get me in trouble by calling the man's name and say the man have money for you and not turning over the money. I don't have that proof, sir. So I can't go with that. I can't go with that. Okay? So I can't go with that. Because I don't know if Anthony Williams or whichever Williams is a lawyer to start with. I don't know if him owe you. I don't know what arrangement on the strike. No. So, yeah. All right. What I will say though is that this gentleman has this issue. I've heard him when I've not been on. He's spoken to me about it now twice. And I don't know if he's been to court so many times trying to interrogate the issue. Well, not even that. He's gone to court to prosecute the issue. I don't know what much, if anything, we can do for him here in the court of public opinion. Yeah, if the matter is before a judge. So I would suggest, sir, that you stick with the legal process. It's a hell of an undertaking if what you're saying is accurate about the number of times you've gone to court. But to tell you the truth, I can't help you. So, Christy, I don't know if it makes sense to tell me and us again about these issues. Yeah. Anyway, who's on the floor now? The MC. The MC is Alric Miller, Justice of the Peace, Parish Manager in Westmoreland for the Social Development Commission. Let's go inside.
Use the protocol has been established. May I invite us to stand if we're able. Let us pray. God our Father, we bow in your presence this morning. Lord, we adore you for who you are. You are the same God yesterday, today, you'll be the same God tomorrow. You are the omnipotent one, the omniscient and the omnipresent one. All other gods are the works of men, but you, O God, you are the most high God. You are the sweet rose of Sharon. You are the lily in the valley. And so, God, we bow in your presence. Lord, we confess our faults before you. We know, God, that we have sinned in words, thoughts, and deeds. And we ask, Almighty God, for your cleansing. For the things which you commission us to do, O God, and we continue to neglect them, we ask for your forgiveness. And the things which you say we should not do, Almighty God, and we continue to do them, we sinful people come confessing before you today. And in this moment, Lord God, we offer up our thanksgiving to you. We say thank you for being our God. We say thank you for making ways when we did not see any way. We say thank you, Almighty God, for taking us through our valleys. Indeed, as the songwriter says, morning by morning, new mercies we see, and all that we have needed, your hands have provided. Without a shadow of a doubt today, God, we can attest that great is your faithfulness. God, we thank you for being our Jehovah Jireh, for providing for us. We say thank you, Almighty God, for this initiative today. We thank you, God, that you are still speaking and your people are still listening. So, God, we ask that you have your way with us today. We pray, God, that you will bless us. And whatever we do, Almighty God, we do it today, giving you praise, giving you honor, giving you glory. Through your Son, Jesus the Christ, we pray. Amen. Be seated.
Thank you very much, Reverend Brooks. I now call on Mr. Omar Frith, Executive Director of the Social Development Commission, to do the official welcome. Mr. Frith.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. I stand on the protocols that have already been established. but permit me to greet the Honourable Minister Desmond McKenzie and of course the sitting Member of Parliament, Mr. Dayton Campbell. Please forgive me, but I must say I am looking at Reverend who gave the invocation. He reminded me some time ago that I was a guest speaker at his high school graduation. So I'm here thinking, am I aging or what? Let me, on behalf of the Social Development Commission, of course, on behalf of the Ministry of Local Government, Board Management and staff of the SDC, extend an official warm welcome to all of you this morning. We know that today is still a day of work when many people have to go and make a living, but you have chosen to join us for a very important activity. In my official welcome, please forgive me, but I must take a minute to say thank you and congratulations to our Portfolio Minister, the Honourable Desmond McKenzie. Why? Because he is a minister who leads from the front. He is a minister who not only sits and pontificates, but he makes himself available. He is extremely involved and is someone whose lead we can all follow. Please allow me to say thank you, congratulations, and give him another round of applause. We thank him for trusting the SDC with ensuring that we could implement this program. And to that extent, I want to extend my own commendations and congratulations to the staff. Many of them are here today from the head office, both our Deputy Executive Directors, Reid, Deputy EDs, Heron, other directors, and of course, Ms. Kellyman, and of course, the parish in which this event is happening. Give a big round of applause to the parish team led by Ms. Karine. And so we're here not just welcoming dignitaries, we're saying thank you and big welcome to the churches. Congrats to the clergy, all of you who made today possible. Thank you for your continued service and partnership, and congratulations for, of course, earning one of the awards. Give them a round of applause. I recognize all stakeholders, other members of the civic and political leadership, members of the Municipal Corporation in Westmoreland, of course our security and emergency response teams, all public agencies, heads of agencies who are here, and the community in general. Please have a warm welcome. We know that you will enjoy today's proceedings because we are in a place of God. And as I start off my minister, a phrase from Isaiah 58, verse 12 came to my memory. Your people will rebuild, and I'm paraphrasing. And you will be called repairer of broken walls and restorer of dwellings. Indeed, our minister is helping us doing that today. And as I take my seat, the most important verse comes back to mind that is applicable to all of us. Because this restoration is not just physical, it is also spiritual. And 1 Peter 5:10 reminds us that, and the God of all grace, who call you to his eternal glory in Christ, after you have suffered for a little while, he will himself restore you and make you strong, firm, and steadfast. Let us continue to remain firm, steadfast as we do the work of God and, of course, the work of community development. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Frith, for your welcoming remarks. Please permit me to recognize Miss Marlette Wellington, CEO of the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation, and also Councillor Jerome Bacchus of the Darliston Division. All right, I now invite His Worship the Mayor to the lectern to make his remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable Minister Desmond McKenzie, Member of Parliament for Eastern Westmoreland, Dr. Dayton Campbell, Councillors present, I'm seeing Councillor Warren Littleton of the Granger Division Councillor, Host Councillor, Councillor Jerome Bacchus, Darlington Division, my CEO from the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation, Ms. Marlet Wellington, Mr. Frith, and other staff members of SDC, members of the JCF, members of the Jamaica Fire Brigade. I'm seeing former Councillor Seabird McFarlane, members of the clergy, both clergymen and women, community members, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good morning. It is good indeed to be gathered here today on such an occasion. I'm sure that for some of our church leaders, this might be feeling like the start of a Nehemiah moment. You are about to get underway with your grand rebuilding, whether it be walls or roofs. But I just want to say that we all are aware of the very important role that our churches play in our everyday lives. Apart from offering spiritual guidance, our churches also, on the most part, looks out for the physical man as well, as some of our churches are indeed involved in charitable ventures, charitable exercises, and their own charitable programs. Therefore, the role of a church in modern Jamaica ranges from feeding the soul to as well feeding the body. And we were all indeed severely impacted by Hurricane Melissa. And I hear some of my friends making some jokes saying that Melissa seemed to have been an ungodly woman because she did so much damage to our churches. And then the next man said, yes, and I think also Melissa might have been fully done. She don't like school neither. But I'm happy to know that after this event, or at the end of this event, some of our churches will indeed be getting some financial assistance to get their buildings up and going again. And for that, I'm sure you're all happy. That is why the faces are looking so beaming and gleaming. But I just want to say, I greet you all well, and I trust that we will have a good function. And someone, when I was coming, said to me, say, Mayor, it's about what time rain start fall at Easter in Westmoreland. And I said to them, these days we can't be too sure, because we normally would have been having rain like from 11 o'clock, 3, 4, 5 years ago. But on some days now, we're not having any rain, because some parts of Eastern Westmoreland are indeed going through what I call like a semi-drought, experiencing semi-drought conditions, and some parts are getting a lot of rain. But I won't try to test the weatherman, by staying here for long, but just to say that I greet you well, and to all those who will be collecting on behalf of the churches, congratulations. And Minister, after you leave here, you might be in a bit of trouble, because I see and I know that every church will get something today. But I don't know where you're going with it. You're going to find a way out to get around those. But I think from what I'm seeing, more are getting than those who are not getting. So you will have more happy people, Minister, than sad people. So once again, I greet you well and look forward to a good event. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. And now we invite Dr. Dayton Campbell, Member of Parliament, to make his remark. Dr. Campbell, make him welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Master of Ceremonies. I think the Mayor was so extensive in his welcome and in identifying the persons who are here that I'm sure you all feel acknowledged. And before him, the official welcome was done. So I will not redo all of that. Shall we praise the Lord? Thank you very much. So I want to start out by saying, welcome to our minister. Even though I'm not going through all of it, I want to say welcome to our minister, Brother Desmond. And Brother Desmond and I are friends. Even if he doesn't claim me publicly, he's my friend. He's my friend. Yes, he's my friend. And no, not Desmond Valentine, Desmond Mackenzie. And it may seem uncharacteristic of you because a lot of people think that I'm always aggressive, even though I smile more than I'm aggressive. But I want to say that this is a minister that I think is always trying. I don't think we will ever have anybody that does everything, but I don't think we can accuse him of not trying. Yes? And we were here a few months ago, and at that time we were launching the cleanup program. And he stood up and he made the promise or the commitment that they would do something for the churches, because we were having that launch in the yard of a church that still remains significantly damaged. And I'm happy, sir, that you have come through with your commitment, and I'm quite sure that the brothers and sisters of Christ are equally grateful. I want to say that I think it's Psalm 127. Pastor Brooks, you forgive me if it's wrong. I think it's Psalm 127, verse 1, that says, except the Lord builds the house, they labor in vain that builds it. And I'm not trying to play on the word labor today, Minister. But the critical point being made in that scripture is that your efforts are futile if it doesn't have the involvement, the participation and guidance of the Lord. And so as we are here today for what is, in my opinion, a worthwhile occasion that will see us being able to give a grant to the churches so that they can rebuild, I think that I don't need to encourage you to involve the Lord in what you do, because that's the whole purpose of what you do. But I want to encourage you to continue to do so, because we all get discouraged at times, because it is a tremendous responsibility that you do have. And when you get discouraged, do not feel that there is something wrong with you. The same scripture speaks to Christ himself in the Garden of Gethsemane, saying that if it is thy will, let this cup pass, because the pressures of life can bear down on an individual that you want to say, or if the thing I can pass, make it go on. So I want to encourage you in the Lord as well, to continue to do the work that you do. And the reason why I want to do so is because of the importance of the church. And I do not intend to be long, but I want to share a little personal story with you. The church is one of the most important organizations in the community. And from my own experience, the church is important because it can give direction to those who are wayward. And when I was growing up in a home without a male figure, it was in the church that I knew that males could have ambition. It was in the church that I knew that males didn't have to wear their pants way below their waist, but that you could wear your pants at your waist and that you could be respectable and responsible. It was in the church that I learned that. A lot of values I learned in the church. Even public speaking I learned from the church. So you can re-examine me on the political platform and you realize that I'm really a Pentecostal preacher. But the church really played a pivotal role in rescuing me as an individual and ensuring that I became somebody. To the point when I was about to leave for medical school, there was a conversation as to whether or not I should go to Bible school. And that is my true calling, you know. And it is probably why I'm not a minister of government, you know, Brother Desmond. I should be a minister of religion, maybe. But it's a different thing, right? But on a serious note, the church really gave focus and direction to my life. And so I'm always more than happy to be involved in anything that involves the saints of Christ. And I do know, as was said by Mayor, when I was going through that struggle, my pastor who just passed away, his wife, for some reason she favored me. And I remember on some Sundays that she would call my mother and she would fold up a little thing in her hand and just squeeze it and give to her. And that was the lunch money for the week when we were going to high school. Had it not been for those moments, we would not have been able to complete our journey. The role that the church also plays in the community, even some of them operate as a shelter. And we are now back in the hurricane season. And as you can see that we still have a lot of our brothers and sisters who are still very much in need. And because of his activist state, I'm going to lobby publicly for Brother Desmond to be given some of the responsibility to give some help to some of those persons. So like you have delivered for the church, I want you to deliver for some of the community members who are still under tarpaulin, because I trust you will act on it, Minister. Yes? Because we do still have a lot of persons, as you can see. If you just go outside and look, I still believe it's about 40% of the houses still have tarpaulin on them. So there is still a great need. But I don't want to minimize or belittle this moment that we are here gathered for this worthy cause. I do hope that the churches will be able to rebuild in short order so you can continue to provide the soul food to the brothers and sisters within the community. God bless you and have a good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Dr. Campbell. Just before we invite Reverend Minister Coral Anglin to minister us to us through an item, I now invite Mr. Dramaine Jones, Regional Director, to bring greetings on behalf of Mr. Odegaard, Executive Director of the NSWMA.
Good morning, everyone. Standing on the protocols that would have been previously done, I bring greetings on behalf of the Executive Director and the entire team at the National Solid Waste Management Authority. I'm deeply honored to extend our warmest greetings to everyone gathered here today for the Community Churches Cleanup and Restoration Initiative Grand Ceremony. It is often said that cleanliness is next to godliness, and we cannot have godliness without the churches playing an integral part in our society. At the NSWMA, we firmly believe that a clean, healthy, and sustainable environment is not achieved by individual effort alone, but through strength of community partnerships, and this is one such example. Churches have always been the bedrock of our communities, and offering spiritual guidance and leadership and a shared space for unity. And by taking an active role in environmental cleanup and restoration, there is a demonstration that a profound commitment is being made to civic pride and public health. This initiative is a testament to what we can accomplish as state agencies led by a wonderful minister. Faith-based institutions aligned for the greater good of Jamaica. We want to give personal commendations to the Ministerial Local Government led by the Honorable Minister Desmond McKenzie and all the participating churches and agencies for launching this vital initiative. Let us continue to work hand in hand and keep our communities clean and beautiful and safe for everyone. Thank you, and congratulations to all the grants.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jones. I know.
All right, let's just interrupt the flow of proceedings to throw to a station break and come back with more. This is Nationwide.
I just wanna have fun. Some is envy a gold magnum. $700 give you one. That means any biz turn up. It's Magnum, the champion of dancehall. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Imagine designing something unique, something personal, something bigger than just a dream. A reality designed by you, just for you. With Sagicor Lifestyle Approved Retirement Scheme, you can design the life you want to live. With tax-deferred savings of up to 20% of your income, you'll have the opportunity to do what you've always wanted to do. A reality designed by you. Call 888-SAGICOR today. Conditions apply.
The following safety tip is brought to you by the Ministry of National Security and Peace. Avoid leaving valuables on car seats or other areas where they are visible from outside, as this can attract unwanted attention. Stay alert, stay vigilant. The preceding safety tip was brought to you by the Ministry of National Security and Peace.
The Commission of Strata Corporations is here to help, but we need your help too. That's why corporations are required to file annual returns. Annual returns include minutes of AGMs and EGMs, names and addresses of executive committee members, certificate of insurance, and completed forms and fees. Help us, help you. File your annual returns today. Visit reb.gov.jm for more information.
Attention contractors, developers, and homeowners. Glacier White Corian Solid Surface is now at a special price while stocks last. Choose Corian for your commercial and residential projects. You won't regret it. It's durable, beautiful, and long-lasting. No sealing necessary. Corian is the #1 solid surface in the world, second to none. Visit Home International Limited at 104 Constant Spring Road. Telephone 876-755-1970 or 876-276-6448. Open Mondays to Fridays, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and on Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Jamaica. Our identity is more than just a name. It's who we are. The National ID card helps Jamaicans confirm who they are, access government services, and unlock new opportunities and prove your identity with confidence. Enroll today and be part of building a stronger, more connected Jamaica. Your ID, your identity. NERA, proudly serving Jamaica. One secure identity.
Enjoy peace of mind knowing that your hard-earned money is protected by the JDIC. That's right, the JDIC through the Deposit Insurance Scheme guarantees up to $1.2 million of your deposits in commercial banks, merchant banks, and building societies. This means your deposits, such as your savings and checking accounts, are covered. Rest easy knowing that your deposits are secure. Your deposits always protected. For more information, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at JDICJAM or visit our website at www.jdic.org.
JDIC, protecting deposits for you and me.
This is Nationwide's World Cup Team Profile. Brought to you by the UDC, making development happen.
South Africa, Bafana have qualified for the World Cup on 3 previous occasions. They first did so in 1998, then again in 2002, and they hosted the 2010 tournament. Each time they did not progress beyond the group stage. In 2010, when they became the first African nation to host the World Cup, they were eliminated from a group that had Mexico. This year, South Africa will have the distinction of opening the FIFA World Cup. They'll do so like they did in 2010 against Mexico on June 11. South Africa, one of the 48 countries, will be participating at the FIFA World Cup, and you can follow their progress right here on Nationwide 90 FM. We'll have extended live coverage of the greatest show on earth.
That was Nationwide's World Cup Team Profile. Brought to you by the UDC, making development happen.
Double V invites you to celebrate their 57 years of service with complimentary appetizers and big discounts on jerk items. Join Double V from July 29 to August 1 in Oteria, St. Anne. See you there!
And when this for the match day, whole team there when the fans say Biggie Box. Match day and we have the food, yeah. Biggie Box. We rep the same team and Wendy's FC every match day. Wendy's Biggie Box. Get ready for the match with a Wendy's Biggie Box. Get a Dave's Classic or a spicy chicken sandwich or a grilled chicken sandwich or a classic chicken sandwich plus 4 nuggets, a medium fries and a drink all in one box. No matter which team you cheer for the summer, make it a Wendy's Biggie Box. Wendy's Biggie Box. We rep the same team and Wendy's FC every match day. Wendy's Biggie Box.
Happening now! Furnitureland and Carmen's Collection massive liquidation sale. Don't miss your chance. Call us at 876-778-2628. The time by Furnitureland and Carmen's Collection is
11:41.
Cliff Hughes Online. Talk radio for all Jamaicans.
Holiness Christian Church here in Darlington, Westmoreland for the Community Churches Cleanup and Restoration Initiative Grant Ceremony, the final stop in this series. We go back to the former program.
Their sins, and I will heal their land. I make these quotes because as I acknowledge the Member of Parliament and my friend on the other side of the Parliament, someone who I will also admit I have a very good personal relationship with from we first went into the Parliament. But there are times when we don't see eye to eye on certain issues. And there's one particular issue which he knows I spoke to him about. I want to acknowledge also His Worship the Mayor and the councillors and the administrative staff, and most importantly, the church congregation. I use that quote because as a country, we are blessed. And we take a lot of things for granted. As I said yesterday in Montego Bay, there are many Jamaicans who still have not acknowledged the powers of the one that is supreme. Because even after the devastation of Melissa, we are still not looking in the direction that we ought to be looking. I woke up this morning, when I turned the news, 2 earthquakes in less than 5 minutes rock Venezuela. Over 100 and odd persons have lost their lives in Venezuela. I want this morning to reach out to our neighbors and to express to them our condolences and pray for the best for the people of Venezuela. And I say that against the backdrop that many Jamaicans, and I have to say it, it might sound as a recurring decimal, but it is something that is worthy of mentioning. Some of us only contemplate about what an hurricane will do to Jamaica. If we go back to what destroyed Port Royal and what created the city of Kingston, was one of the worst earthquakes that could have ever struck this country. And we are not mindful that Jamaica is in the top tier of the disaster, the most prone disaster countries in the world. Small Jamaica. We have a rich heritage. We are surrounded by land and sea and everything that is good, everything that is beautiful. But it also comes with a price. And while we are contemplating what Melissa did, we should also, as a country, focus our attention on what is happening globally around the world, the effects of the changes that are taking place, and what can occur. It doesn't take 20 hurricanes. All it takes is one. And as a country, over the last 2.5 years, we have had more than 300 felt earthquakes in this country. Over the last 3 years. And I don't believe we are honestly talking enough about what an earthquake can do for Jamaica. And it is going to be not just for us, the politicians. And I was impressed by the opening prayer by the young pastor. I said to Dayton that all of these services that I've been going to, most of the prayers that have been offered have been said by young upcoming pastors, and it speaks well for the future of the country. And I would want the pulpit in our churches to be used to speak to your congregation about their personal role in disaster preparedness, about hurricane, earthquake, flooding, and all the dangers that comes naturally because of where we sit as a country. We can be a great country, we can be much greater than we are. But we have to be mindful of the pitfalls that surround us. And these are not man-made. We have changes in the El Nino system, and we can talk about how the air is polluted. And again, what is important is that as a country, we used to take our signals from what is happening when it comes on to hurricane. So we listen to the forecast coming out of the United States saying there's a system on the coast of Africa and there's a system on the northern coast of the US. And we could get warnings that the system is going to come our way. The experts have said to us that by the year 2035, hurricanes will become more frequent in our region. So when we have to get 3 weeks and a month warning, when it starts within our waters, because of the warmness of the seas within our region, these are things that we must start to contemplate on. Government can only do so much. We can provide as much as we want. But you can't predict the outcomes, because if we could have predicted what Melissa would have done, we would have been able to do a lot more. But it is not something that you can predict. And nobody believes that we would experience a Category 5 hurricane. And 7 months after, as a country, some people will say, but I didn't know you had an hurricane in Jamaica 7 months ago. It is a fact. And while there are still people that have not been reached, what the government has done so far is commendable under the circumstances, and we must never, and that is why if the people understands and recognize the role of government, because government is not only about the Prime Minister and the Minister and the opposition. Government is all of us that needs to come forward to take personal responsibilities about the things that we do. many parts of the country will start to experience drought conditions. Some of you can't sleep with your windows closed at night because of the heat. Some have more water than you can manage. Some want the water and can't get it. It is all because we live in a country that is rich in natural resources. And that is the price we pay for being a good country. But it is something that we can overcome if collectively we use our voices in supporting the efforts of government. And we can be critical of government, and we can be critical of the policies of government. But when we are going to be critical of government, then we must also put ourselves in a position to offer advice, make suggestions. Because, you know, our national anthem is unique. We are the only country in the world with a national anthem that is actually a prayer. Eternal Father, bless our land. And there are many countries who would wish that they would have an anthem that speaks volume and respect the powers and the will of the Almighty. And as a church congregation, we honor and appreciate you. And what we are doing is not going to be able to rebuild the tabernacles across this country, but at least it will help you in some way. And as I said yesterday, despite the passage of the hurricane, many of our churches found the courage and the strength to continue to operate under tents, in open spaces, continuing to do the work that you have been ordained to do. And again, since this is the last of the presentations that we have, there are many people who was critical of us as a government. When I made the announcement and I see the bishop there who spoke at the cleanup, and I was reminding them yesterday that you told me that some people is saying that Melissa never really come. Is a man named Mr. Andrew and Desmond send something come down here and do it. That is how people. But there are persons when the announcement was made was critical. And when the Prime Minister came out and endorsed and gave the backing of the government to the initiative. And I want to say that when you have problems in your house and the wife decides to leave, you or the husband decide to leave, you end up and you find the pastor and you ask him to talk to her or talk to him. You come to church and you pray to save your marriage. When you're getting married, where you want to get married? In the church. And when you want the last rites to be read, where you go? Not the church. So we have to maintain the values of our church. And again, we make no apologies for supporting the church in whatever way we can as a government. And that is why I announced an additional $50 million will be provided to cover the parishes of Clarendon and St. Anne that were affected by the passage of Hurricane Melissa. And we have to be thankful. We must give God thanks every day of our lives. We had Beryl. Beryl did damage extensively in almost the same stretch that Melissa came. A couple years ago, we had COVID. We have had floods. Now we are faced not just with natural disaster, but we are faced with a man-made war in the Middle East that is affecting us as a small developing country here in Jamaica. Energy prices going up. And we pray that that will come to an end quickly. But we must also remember that if and when the guns stop firing, things not going to come back to normal right away. But at least there is hope. And we have to build on the churches. We have to build on our faith as a Christian loving country. And I hear Dayton spoke about when he was going to school after, he thought he would have gone to Bible school to become a minister. But Dayton, you chose the right thing, because the minister part, no, the doctor is okay, but not the minister part. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a privilege to be here this morning. And I want to express to the people of Westmoreland, on behalf of the government of Dr. Andrew Holness, our gratitude, and to ask you to continue to be the bearers of good news and to continue to work hard to build a better Jamaica under one God and under one belief that Jamaica will rise again, bigger and better, but we must be committed to the cause. I thank you, and I want to say that the 102 churches here this morning that will receive 18.7 million and making Westmoreland the largest of the parishes that would have received benefit from the 77 million that was made available. May God continue to bless you and provide more oil in your lamp so you can lead those who are blind to see, and to open the ears of those who are deaf, and to clear the blockage from the ears of those who are pretending that they do not hear. May God bless you all, and may we have a better country.
The Minister of Local Government and Community Development, Desmond McKenzie, there, taking us right up on the button where news time is concerned. Kimon Thompson and the team at Broadcast House, you're up.
In minutes, you're covered with Scotia Protect. In minutes, you're covered with Scotia Protect. It's the best you can get, and you won't have to fret. Oh no, no long forms, no long waiting, just a few clicks, no time wasting. Get coverage for your home and auto, quick, no hesitating. With Scotia Protect.
Get home and auto insurance online in minutes with Scotia Protect, powered by GK Insurance. Visit scotiaprotect.com today. Terms and conditions apply.
It's time for Hot Listings, nationwide 90 FM's on-air classifieds, made for quick ads and fast results.
Book lovers, parents, teachers, students, don't miss LMH Publishing's massive warehouse sale, July 3 and 4. Shop thousands of books, from educational and children's titles to fiction, cookery, and so much more, with prices starting at only $50. Visit LMH Publishing at Sagicor Industrial Park, Unit 11, 7 Norman Road, Kingston, from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. See you there!
Cool Shade Media Projects invite all primary school head boys and head girls to participate in the Head Boy and Girl Address the Nation on YouTube. Winners can win up to $10,000. Call 876-461-7937. That's 876-461-7937 for more details.
That was Hot Listings on Nationwide 90 FM. Listings start as low as $1,500. Call 876-630-1210 to book yours today.
Why choose the National ID? It's more than just a card. It's your gateway to faster, more efficient services across Jamaica. Open bank accounts, register for school, apply for jobs, and conduct business, all with one trusted ID. No need for multiple documents. And it's free for all Jamaicans. The National ID creates more access, more opportunities, and more benefits for you and your family. Enroll now and be part of the change. Organize your life with the National ID. NERA. Empowering you, empowering Jamaica. One secure identity.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
12 o'clock.
It's credible and factual. The World at Noon on Nationwide 90 FM.
Good afternoon, I'm Robianne Williams. Coming up in the World at Noon for Wednesday, that should be Thursday, June 25, 2026. JLP leadership expresses condolences to late former statesman Dr. Oswald Harding.
His contributions to development of the democratic processes in the Senate and the commitment to rule of law will long be remembered.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness's administration expresses solidarity with Venezuela following Wednesday evening's back-to-back earthquakes. JMDA welcomes Health Ministry directive for audit of accommodations for medical interns. Country hype sentenced to 5 years and 10 months in prison after admitting to being a gun smuggler. In regional news, Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley receives Global Africa Lifetime Achievement Award. In international news, U.S. Supreme Court rules administration can strip protected status for Haitian and Syrian immigrants. And in sports, ongoing FIFA Men's World Cup is smashing viewership numbers globally. The details after the break.
The Midday News is brought to you by Total Tools. Every tool, every trade.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness and senior members of the Jamaica Labour Party are expressing condolence on the death of former Attorney General, Senate President, and Jamaica Labour Party stalwart Dr. Oswald Ozzie Harding. Harding passed away early Thursday morning. He was 90 years old. Mahiri Stewart has that story.
Oswald Harding held the distinction of being Jamaica's longest-serving senator, having first been appointed in 1977 and serving continuously until 2002 before returning from 2007 to 2011. He was also the first person to serve as Senate President for 2 non-consecutive terms, from 1980 to 1984 and again from 2007 to 2011. Dr. Harding was appointed Minister of Justice in 1986 and also served as Attorney General under the administration of Edward Seaga. Dr. Harding was a member of the Order of Jamaica. In his private life, Harding was a lawyer, rising to the rank of King's Counsel. He was also an academician, earning a PhD in philosophy after retiring from politics. He was a part-time senior lecturer in the Department of Language, Linguistics and Philosophy at the University of the West Indies before taking on the role of Dean of the Faculty of Law at the University of Technology, Jamaica. On Thursday, Prime Minister Holness described him as one of Jamaica's most distinguished legal minds, parliamentarians, and public servants. Holness said Dr. Harding's contribution to the development of Jamaica's constitutional and democratic traditions will endure for generations. The Prime Minister said the late former statesman was an enduring example of service anchored in honor, humility, and excellence. Meanwhile, JLP Deputy Leader Desmond McKenzie described Dr. Harding as a committed nation builder who gave years of service to both the party and the country.
As he has been one of the strong pillars of Area Council 1 back in the 70s when he contested the East Rural St. Andrew constituency on behalf of the Jamaica Labour Party. He's a founding member of Area Council 1 and is also responsible for many of the new rules that help to change and to place the Jamaica Labour Party as one of the strongest political organizations in the English-speaking Caribbean. His death is a great loss not just to Jamaica but to the Jamaica Labour Party.
And current Senate President Tom Tavares Finson also paid tribute to Harding on Thursday.
I had the privilege of serving as Deputy President to the Senate when he was the President from 2007 to 2011, and his contributions to development of the democratic processes in the Senate and the commitment to rule of law will long be remembered. He, of course, was also Deputy Chairman of the Jamaica Labour Party, and his contribution to the party will no doubt be spoken of elsewhere. May his soul rest in peace.
Oswald Gaskell Harding was born in Kingston on November 3, 1935. He leaves behind Marigold Harding, children and grandchildren. Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
The Andrew Holness administration says it stands ready to help Venezuela after the country was hit by double earthquakes on Wednesday night. The earthquakes, with a magnitude of 7.2 and 7.5, hit a minute apart at 6 p.m. local time. They are among the strongest to strike Venezuela in more than a century. At least 164 people have been reported dead and more than 900 injured. The country's main airport was damaged and buildings were evacuated in places as far away as Brazil's Amazon, about 1,000 miles from Venezuela's capital. Acting President Delcy Rodriguez has described the area as a disaster zone. In a statement on social media, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the government extended condolences to the Venezuelan government and people. He said Jamaica stands in solidarity with the country in its time of grief and recovery. Dr. Holness says Jamaica joins the wider Caribbean and international community in offering assistance. And the opposition PNP is also expressing condolences to the Venezuelan people. Opposition spokesperson on Foreign, Regional and Diaspora Affairs, Senator Donna Scott Motley, says the party stands in solidarity with the people and prays that they may find the courage, resilience and unity to overcome the tragedy and rebuild with hope. Senator Scott Motley commended the dedication of the emergency responders, healthcare professionals, volunteers working tirelessly in the ongoing search, rescue, and relief efforts. First Vice President of the Jamaica Medical Doctors Association, JMDA, Dr. Jubilee Brown Service, is welcoming the directive from the Ministry of Health and Wellness for a comprehensive physical audit of the accommodation facilities for medical interns. Dr. Brown Service was speaking during Nationwide this morning on Thursday.
We see this as a step in the positive direction, being that the Minister outlined 2 specific timelines and has also expressed a willingness to engage the union and other key stakeholders in ensuring that the measures he has outlined are carried out and the strategies are implemented.
In the directive issued on Wednesday, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says regional health authorities, RHAs, and the University Hospital of the West Indies, UHWI, are to take immediate action to address the working and living conditions of medical interns. The findings are to be submitted to the Permanent Secretary's office no later than Friday, June 26. The minister's directive followed concerns raised by the JMDA over what it describes as poor working conditions facing medical interns across the island. Dr. Brown Service says the JMDA will be monitoring the auditing process and its outcome.
We've already started our internal audit of these rules to ensure that whatever is reported to the Minister is accurate and that the interventions that follow, or the changes that follow, is also consistent with what we've observed on the ground. So we are giving time. He says first 72 hours for the audit, and then 5 days for the duty rota to be reviewed, and for the regional health authorities to submit the physician gap analysis to the ministry. We're giving time.
That's Dr. Jubilee Brown Service, first Vice President of the JMDA. Jamaica's spending on imports far outstripped its export earnings in the first quarter of 2026. That's according to figures released by the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin. Statin says the country spent $1.87 billion on imports between January and March, while earnings from total exports came in at $376.6 million. Statin says the value of imports for the quarter actually fell by 1.3% when compared to the same period in 2025. This was driven by lower imports of consumer goods and fuels and lubricants. Statin says total exports fell more sharply, down 22.3%. It says that decline was mainly driven by a 48.7% fall in the value of crude materials, excluding fuels. On trading partners, Statin says Jamaica's 5 main import sources over the 3 months were the United States, China, Brazil, Japan, and Trinidad and Tobago. Spending on goods from those countries rose by $1.25 billion. The agency says the top 5 destinations for Jamaica's exports were the United States, the Russian Federation, the Netherlands, Canada, and the United Kingdom. Export revenues from those markets declined. That should be export revenues from those markets declined by $283.2 million. Dancehall producer Country Hype has been sentenced to 5 years and 10 months in prison after admitting to being a gun smuggler. Country Hype's given name is Tajay Hubert Davis. That should be Days. The 33-year-old was sentenced when he appeared in court in Miami, Florida on Wednesday. William Mitchell reports.
Country Hype was facing 2 counts. On the count of smuggling goods from the United States, he was sentenced to 70 months. On the count of delivery of a firearm to a common carrier without written notification, the music producer has been sentenced to 60 months. The sentences will run concurrently. He was also fined $200 as a special assessment. Meanwhile, following his release from prison, the confessed gun smuggler has been ordered to serve 3 years of supervised release. That order may, however, be moot, as he likely faced removal proceedings to be returned to Jamaica. Presiding Judge Roy Altman notes that Country Hype can appeal the sentence. The music producer had sought a prison term of 36 months, but prosecutors argued after his guilty plea that a term of 70 to 75 months would better serve justice. His charges carried a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison. Country Hype is among the most recognizable names in dancehall music. He's worked with some of dancehall's biggest names, including Intense, Alkaline, Conscience, and Craft. But law enforcement sources told our news center, Country Hype, a trained cook and nurse, has also been supplying gangs across Jamaica with illegal guns. Operating under the fake name Jamie Roberts, he was in 2025 caught attempting to smuggle guns into Kingston. In a statement, the Jamaica Constabulary Force said 24 handguns, 6 rifles, 32 magazines and 102 rounds of ammunition were seized. U.S. prosecutors say those guns were packaged and shipped by the producer, who they say was caught on surveillance footage. William Mitchell for Nationwide News.
Thanks, William. Opposition spokesman on human rights Isaac Buchanan is calling for greater parliamentary scrutiny of the government's third country nationals TCN agreement with the United States. Buchanan says this is a significant policy decision with implications for human rights, immigration policy, asylum procedures, and constitutional protections, and should not be settled by a memorandum alone. He addressed the issue while making his contribution to the sectoral debate on Tuesday.
This is a profound step in the life of a small nation, and yet
has not been brought to this House to be debated. The government points fairly to safeguards that Jamaica may refuse any individual and that either party may end the agreement at short notice, that there will be health screening, identity verification, criminal record checks and clearance from the National Intelligence Bureau, and that no person with a criminal record will be accepted. Those assurances are welcome and I do not disparage them, but an assurance is a promise, and this House exists to test promises against practice.
The Holness and Trump administration signed the TCN arrangement earlier this month. Under the deal, Jamaica could receive non-Jamaican nationals who are being removed from the United States while they transit to other destinations. Buchanan has acknowledged the security screening and safeguards built into the agreement, but he argues that important questions remain unanswered.
Who reviews a refusal and on what criteria? What becomes of a person whom we receive but cannot move on? The minister himself concedes that those who elect to remain must apply to our courts for asylum. And there lies the problem, Mr. Speaker. The difficulty begins right there. For the very international reporting the Justice Minister waved away describes a country with no clear procedure for the granting of asylum or refugee status and no consistent system to protect refugees. Each case in the government's own practice handled administratively one by one. We simply don't have a system in place and no legislation.
That's Isaac Buchanan, opposition spokesman on human rights. Meanwhile, Isaac Buchanan says the government needs to pay renewed attention to human rights protections in Jamaica, especially after signing the TCN agreement with the U.S. According to him, Jamaica's asylum and refugee framework remains underdeveloped. He's also questioning whether existing systems are adequately prepared to manage the responsibilities that may arise under the TCN arrangement. He referenced Sunday's arrival of 28 Haitian nationals in Portland as evidence that Jamaica must strengthen its approach to migration, refugee protection, and due process.
Here is the question the Republic must be able to answer. If we stand up screening, oversight, and accommodation funded from Washington for 25 persons transferred to us every fortnight, with what consistency, what due process, and what plain humanity do we meet the 3 children who reach Portland in a boat? A nation's character is revealed not in the agreement it signs in a comfortable room, but in how it treats the frightened stranger who arrived unannounced. This is why the matter belongs in this debate and not merely in a press briefing. I will submit that Jamaica has a human rights problem.
Isaac Buchanan, opposition spokesman on human rights. To regional news now, Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley has been honored with the Global Africa Ubuntu Lifetime Achievement Award. The award was presented in Florida on behalf of Africans in Action, Inc., and the organizers of the Global Africa Symposium. It recognizes her leadership in climate justice, economic development, and global advocacy for people of African descent. Motley, who has become one of the most visible voices from the Caribbean on global climate issues, said the recognition was humbling. In accepting the award, Motley said collective effort in addressing global challenges was important. The U.S. Supreme Court has ruled 6-3 that the Trump administration can strip protected status from hundreds of thousands of Haitian and Syrian migrants, which has allowed them to stay in the U.S. for years. Thursday's ruling overturned earlier decisions by federal judges. Temporary protected status, TPS, is granted by the government to foreign-born individuals whose home countries are unable to accommodate them due to war, natural disasters, or other catastrophic events. 350,000 people from Haiti have TPS. The number of Syrians is 6,100. The U.S. first provided TPS to Haitians after a major earthquake in 2010 and to Syrians after their country descended into civil war in 2012. In a separate ruling, the court has ruled that migrants arriving at the U.S.-Mexico border are not entitled to apply for asylum until they set foot in the country. That's it for our local, regional, and international news. Sports is next.
The Midday News was brought to you by Total Tools. Every tool, every trade.
Enough power tool, big to small. Jack on my figure, dig the wall.
Up a Total Tools.
Weed whacker figure, trim the lawn. We have everything a job demand.
Total Tools.
We rent them, sell them and fix them. Also give Total Tools a call. When I say home improvement, landscape construction, a Total Tools are your option. Home improvement, landscape construction, Total Tools are your option. Total Tools, located at 102 Main Street, Ocho Rios, 34 Slive Road, Kingston. And lot C6 Jacksaw, Sentence Bay. Call us today.
Campari, Red Passion. 3 bills that are for your drink and 18 bills for the floss. Aye, they are the bar, just get a text. Buy for your link up, she want make a flex. Buy a Campari, you know what's next. Ashley, I call up, wifey don't vex. Head to your nearest community bar and get your Campari for the recommended drink price of $300 for a drink and $1,800 for the flask. Campari, Red Passion. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, up-to-the-minute local and international sports news, this is the Nationwide Sports at Noon.
Good afternoon, welcome to your Lunchtime Sports Report. I'm Maureen Buchanan. We both things off with some cricket news. At Sports Time, Sri Lanka reached 120 for 5 on day one of the first test against West Indies at Sir Vivian Richards Stadium in Antigua. Dinesh Chandimal made 54, Nisham Madushka 23, while captain Dhananjaya De Silva is not out on 27. The pair of Alzari Joseph and Shamar Joseph, well, they have taken 2 wickets apiece so far. Sticking with cricket, as captain Tom Latham and Devon Conway were in devastating form on Thursday's opening day of the third test between England and New Zealand at Trent Bridge. The two shared in a record triple century opening stand of 317 to put the Kiwis in a position of strength near the close. Latham went for 151 and Conway 157 as New Zealand at Sports Time reached 353 for 2, the most runs ever scored by New Zealand in a single day of test cricket in England. The series is currently tied at 1-1. Now to some football news, as FIFA World Cup action continues on Thursday with 6 more matches scheduled across 3 time slots as teams battle for crucial points in the 2026 tournament. The day's action gets underway at 3 p.m. with Curacao taking on Cote d'Ivoire and Ecuador against Germany in Group E encounter. At 6 p.m. attention shifts to Group F, where Japan will square off against Sweden and the Netherlands will meet Tunisia in what are expected to be pivotal contests in the race for advancement to the knockout stage. The final set of matches kicks off at 9 p.m. as Paraguay face Australia and the USA take on Turkey in the other fixture. Nationwide 90 FM will provide live coverage throughout the day. Now, Jamaican referee O'Shane Nation will reach a significant milestone at the 2026 FIFA World Cup on Thursday evening when he served as the 4th official for the Group D encounter between Paraguay and Australia. The appointment marks Nation's 5th involvement at the football's biggest tournament, joining him a level with fellow Jamaican official Owen Powell, who worked 5 matches during the 1998 FIFA World Cup in France. Nation has continued to enhance Jamaica's reputation on the international officiating stage throughout the tournament, earning appointments in multiple matches as part of FIFA's elite refereeing team. His selection for another crucial World Cup fixture highlights the confidence FIFA has placed in the Jamaican official and his consistent performances throughout the competition. For Jamaican football, Nation's achievement represents another proud moment. By matching Powell's tally of 5 World Cup assignments, he joins an exclusive group of Jamaican referees who have made their mark on the global stage. Meanwhile, Norway's striker Erling Haaland has been one of the informed players at the tournament. Haaland's 4 goals in 2 games have propelled the Vikings to the round of 32 with back-to-back victories and 1 match remaining in their preliminary round. Haaland admits that he's a goal-scoring machine at all levels.
I don't know. I think it's my speciality to score goals. It's like many other things. I'm just really good at scoring goals, and I'm quite lucky. I don't know what I'm doing, but that's just how it is.
Norway are featuring in their first FIFA Men's World Cup since 1998. They'll finish off their group stage against the informed France on Friday. Halan, who's playing at his first ever FIFA World Cup tournament, knows his team are currently in a purple patch.
How many games we have? One now in a row with obligatory games or official games or whatever you want to call it. I think it's 12 in a row or something, and that shows something. So I'm part of something special. Norway is part of something special. We're making history, and I'm extremely proud to be Norwegian.
Norway striker Erling Haaland. Now, Donald Trump, President of the United States of America, said he was asked by Gianni Infantino, President of football's governing body FIFA, to present the trophy to the winners on July 19. USA are co-hosting the tournament alongside Canada and Mexico. Trump believes Infantino has done a remarkable job of managing football globally.
Well, I've been asked to by soccer, by football, by Johnny. Johnny's done a great job. By the way, how hot is this?
And the Dutch are doing fair.
How hot is it? You're doing well with them.
Very well.
Maybe we'll play you in the finals. No, but how hot?
And that's it.
How hot has it been? It's been great. You know, they came to the United States, which isn't a big, as they would say, football, but we can't because it's too confusing. We say soccer.
The opening matches of the ongoing FIFA World Cup have set broadcasting records across multiple markets. Austria's opening match against Jordan was the most watched television program in the country since electronic television audience measurement began. England's opening fixture against Croatia attracted over 14 million viewers, the highest television audience peak in the UK for 2026. For Trump, numbers don't lie.
But it's not very big at that, and this is the biggest they've ever had. They've never had anything like it. The numbers are bigger than any other, and it's great spirit. There's tremendous
The Dutch
spirit.
King and Queen.
I think Johnny has done a fantastic. And yes, he's asked me to hand out the cup.
US President Donald Trump. Now to some netball news as the stage is set for an exciting evening of Red Stripe Flavors Netball Jamaica Elite League playoff on Friday, with 4 of the league's top teams vying for a place in the grand final and a chance to compete for championship glory. The double-header tips off at 6 p.m. when top-ranked Manchester Spurs put their unbeaten record on the line against 4th seed St. Anne Orchids. The Spurs have been the dominant force throughout the season, cruising through the preliminary stage without a loss. However, the Orchids have built a reputation as one of the league's most resilient teams and will be eager to produce the upset that could completely reshape the playoff landscape. The second matchup begins at 7:30 p.m. and features a clash between second place Kingston Hummingbirds and third place St. Catherine Racers. The defending champions Kingston will be looking to protect their status and secure another appearance in the title game. Standing in their way is a St. Catherine team that has shown tremendous grit and consistency in the latter stages of the season. Now this year, the focus will be more on individual placements rather than overall team position when Jamaica competes at the Caribbean Amateur Junior Golf Championships in the Dominican Republic from June 28 to July 3. That's according to Junior Golf Development Advocate Alison Reed, who says several Jamaican players have strong chance of capturing age group titles despite the team not fielding a strong squad. Reed was speaking after Jamaica's golf tournament turned out near full force for last Saturday's pink ball tournament at the Constant Spring Golf Club, a fundraiser to help cover expenses for the national junior team.
It's highly unlikely that we can win, but some of our seasoned players, so Kamari, Shasa, Kingston, Ali, and Francesco, those children have the opportunity to win their age groups. There's no reason why our 13 and under boys, Jaleel or Mark or Amelia, 13 and under girl, can't also win their age group. So we this year are focusing more on our individual tournament as opposed to trying to win as a team. We're still Team Jamaica and we're still going to do the best that we can as a team, but it would be more individual prizes that we would try to achieve this year.
Alison Reed. Now, 4-time NBA champion LeBron James explained that where you're drafted matters little in the league when the season tips off. James was drafted first overall back in 2003, and he added that behind-the-scenes work will separate every player.
I knew I was going to be the number 1 pick in the draft, but I knew as soon as the draft ended, I had to start from scratch. And I was not coming into the NBA number 1. So I had to put the work in, and I know a lot of these kids, they do work hard, but it's about putting the work in when the cameras are not rolling. I know social media is a big thing of people wanting to post everything, but just lock in on your craft and you can be very successful in our league.
In the 2026 draft, the highly touted A.J. DeBansa, who has strong ties with Jamaica, while he's formerly of Brigham Young University, he was selected first overall by the Washington Wizards. According to James, numerous players selected late in the draft have turned out to be NBA champions and modern-day greats.
A kid that expected to go in the first round and you don't go in the first round, you go in the second round. Think Nikola Jokic, think Draymond Green. If you're a kid that projected to go in the second round, you become undrafted. It's not the end of the world. You know, just keep putting in the work. You know, and when your number is called, just be ready and prove yourself right. Don't prove anybody else wrong. You know, I know we all have that you know, I'm gonna prove everybody wrong, but like prove yourself right.
The voice there of LeBron James. Well, that's all we have for your lunchtime sports report. Stick and stay with Nationwide 90 FM because we have big World Cup coverage coming on the channel at 3 p.m. Until then, stay tuned, stay glued, and stay locked in to Nationwide 90 FM.
You're covered with Scotia Protect. In minutes, you're covered with Scotia Protect. It's the best you can get, and you won't have to fret. Oh no, no long forms, no long waiting. Just a few clicks, no time wasting. Get coverage for your home and auto, quick, no hesitating. With Scotia Protect.
Get home and auto insurance online in minutes with Scotia Protect. Powered by GK Insurance. Visit scotiaprotect.com today. Terms and conditions apply.
Growing up, Sunday dinner was always family dinner.
Families are built on memories and traditions. But with a Sagicor Bank intergenerational mortgage, you can create more. Partner with any family member to purchase a home. Mummy, son, sister, cousin. Get up to 45 years to repay, solar funding, and a $2 million line of credit. Sagicor Bank's intergenerational mortgage makes home ownership easier. Visit sagicor.com to apply today. Conditions apply.
I just wanna have fun. So me send me a gold magnum. $700 give you one. That means any base turn up. Magnum, the champion of dancehall. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Recapping the top stories making the world at noon, JLP leadership expresses condolences to late former statesman Dr. Oswald Harding. Andrew Holness administration expresses solidarity with Venezuela following Wednesday evening's back-to-back earthquakes. JMDA welcomes Health Ministry directive for audit of accommodation for medical interns. I'm Robianne Williams. Join the Nationwide Family Club at patreon.com/Nationwide News Network. Good afternoon.
This is Nationwide's World Cup Team Profile. Brought to you by Digicel. Powered by you, connected by us.
Morocco, the current African champions. They have a distinguished FIFA World Cup history, highlighted by their historic 2022 run in Qatar, where they reached the semi-finals of the tournament, becoming the first African and Arab nation so to do. With 7 appearances under their belt, 1970 to 2026, they have a legacy of being the first African team to win a group, 1986, and will co-host the 2023 World Cup. Morocco, one of the 48 teams, will be participating at the FIFA World Cup finals, and you can follow their progress right here on Nationwide 90 FM, who will have extended live coverage of the greatest show on earth.
That was Nationwide's World Cup Team Profile. Brought to you by Digicel. Powered by you, connected by us.
I just wanna have fun. So me send me a gold magnum. $700 give you one. That means any base turn up. Magnum, the champion of dancehall. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Welcome to the new era of identity management. The National Identification and Registration Authority, NIRA, brings together the Registrar General's Department and your secure national identification card under one organization. From birth and marriage services to your national ID card, NIRA delivers secure, simple, efficient service for Jamaicans. Visit our offices to learn more. NIRA, safeguarding your identity, securing your future. One secure identity.
When a big match, bucket for the crew. When a big match is a big deal too. A KFC when we link up for the big match. When it's time for the big match, we grab a big meal. Big bucket time, my side on the field. It's always KFC. Oh, 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 oh.
Enjoy the biggest party in sports with KFC. Get a big deal or big bucket for the big match and cheer on your team. KFC, it's finger licking good.
This is Nationwide's FIFA World Cup Fact.
Did you know that Italy and West Germany's 1970 World Cup semi-final is remembered as the game of the century? Yes, that's a fact. After a tense and tactical 90 minutes, where Italy's trademark defensive approach largely contained West Germany's famed attack, extra time erupted into chaos. In total, 5 goals were scored in just 30 minutes, with Italy ultimately prevailing 4-3 in one of the most dramatic matches ever played.
That was Nationwide's FIFA World Cup Fact.
Skip the ordinary gifts for Dad this year. Give him the gift of future growth with a CIBC Caribbean fixed deposit account. Open a fixed deposit account and invest in a secure future for the father figure in your life. You can make deposits for birthdays, holidays, and special occasions. Fixed deposits offer returns and growth. Act now. Deposit $250,000 or more and you'll receive a hardware store gift voucher for Dad. Open your account today at CIBC Caribbean. Conditions apply.
It's on here now. The goalkeeper's beaten.
Football fever is on, and Anybet's a proud sponsor of Nationwide 90 FM's World Cup coverage is turning the excitement all the way up this Friday, June 26th. Join your favorite station live on location at Anybet's company-owned store, 7 Halfway Tree Road in Crossroads from 1:30 to 4 p.m. Come for the vibes and stay for the giveaways, the trivia, and interactive games as we celebrate our partnership. Plus, learn more about the Pick Your Play promotion and all your betting options. Don't miss the fun, prizes, and football energy. Powered by Anybet and Nationwide 90 FM, where every play is your winning play.
Commercial spaces for you. Parks and attractions for you. Housing and residential developments for you. Beautiful rental properties for you. Improving quality of life through infrastructure development across Jamaica for you. The Urban Development Corporation, making development happen for you. Brought to you by the Urban Development Corporation.
UDC for you.
Tune in to Cliff Hughes Online on Friday, June 26 from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. for the Social Development Commission's Community Church Cleanup and Restoration Initiative's 5th stop at the Calvary Baptist Church in Montego Bay, St. James. The SDC will officially hand over grants to churches in St. James as part of the government's $75 million Community Church Initiative launched after Hurricane Melissa. In total, this initiative will benefit 420 churches across St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, St. James, Trelawney, and Hanover. So tune in to Cliff Hughes Online Friday, June 26 from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. for the delayed broadcast. Catch this and so much more on our YouTube channel at NNN Radio Live, or keep your station locked to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media.
Turn up the heat with Hot Listing, Nationwide 90 FM's new on-air and online classifieds feature. If you have a car for sale, room for rent, or yard sale come up. If you look at work or need stuff. If you provide a service, make it a Hot Listing, Nationwide 90 FM's new on-air and online classified segment. Your listing plays again and again. from morning till evening. You sing it, we play it. You say it once, Jamaica hears it all day, every hour. Contact our sales team now at 876-630-1210 or sales at nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Hot listings on Nationwide 90 FM, a new revolution in media.
Cliff Hughes Online. Talk radio for all Jamaicans.
Coming to you from the Darliston Holiness Church here in Darliston, Westmoreland, the constituency Eastern Westmoreland, presided over by Dr. Dayton Campbell. And we're here for the final leg of the Social Development Commission and the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development's Community Church Restoration and Grant Handover Initiative. Last ceremony, 102 representatives of churches, well, representatives of 102 churches are here to collect checks that will be used to fund the repair and restoration, minor repair and restoration, cleanup of the church facilities. Churches have a long way back to normalcy, and the government trying to start the process by, as Omar Frith said earlier, the executive director of the SDC. It is a drop in the bucket, but we all can agree that a drop in the bucket is better than an empty bucket. So there you go. We are scheduled to do some interviews. For everywhere we've been, we've spoken to the Member of Parliament. Andrea Perkis was with us when we were in Eastern Hanover. Certainly, Marissa Darimper-Philibert, the lady in charge of South Trelawney, was with us. So we expected Dr. Campbell to be with us too. There's a ceremony still going on behind us, and he's playing a role there. So Nora is trying to get him to come to our broadcast point. Until then, let me tell you that the heat situation in Europe is not normal. There's a report in The Guardian which says the UK and the Switzerland both recorded the hottest ever June temperatures on Thursday, while brutally hot conditions supercharged by the climate crisis were linked to the death of a third toddler in France and a sharp rise in medical emergencies across Europe. The UK's new provisional high, listen to this, 36.4 degrees Celsius, recorded in Yeovilton in Somerset. Somerset is a county. Yeovilton in Somerset County surpassed Wednesday's June record of 36.1 degrees Celsius recorded in Gosport, Hampshire, another county, which had beaten the previous peak of 35.6 degrees Celsius set in Southampton. That was back in 1976. Now, Southampton is on the coast. Yeah, it's a seaside area, Southampton. And one would have expected that the seaside areas would have been or will be the hottest. From my recollection, Yeovilton in Somerset County, that's not seaside. Gosport in Hampshire, not quite sure, but those who are familiar with the UK can help me with that. But these temperatures, which to me and you seem normal, 36 degrees. 36 degrees for somebody in the UK is hell, okay? So these are records that are just ridiculous. And the heat is so bad. The report says a third toddler in France died as a result of the heat that is sweeping through continental Europe. Yeah? Anyway, I have an interviewee. His name is Aldwin Brooks. He's pastor at the Beaufort Circuit of Moravian Churches, and his church was one of those institutions deemed eligible for a grant to help on the long road to restoration. Pastor, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, George. How are you?
I am very good. Impressive young man. You know, we like to see impressive young men in a country and in a space where the young women are the young women are celebrated and the men are, in my view, suppressed. We support and applaud the young men when they show outstanding traits in their youth. And Pastor, from all accounts, you are among that number, the impressive young men. Long may your energy provide you with the ability to do your work with vigor.
Thank you, sir.
Excellent. All right. Tell me about your church, Beaufort Circuit and Moravian churches. What did Melissa do to it?
So I am currently the pastor for 4 churches.
Yes.
So Beaufort, Ashton, Caincara, and Content.
Yes.
Beaufort being the mother church, we celebrated 190 years anniversary 2 years ago. For Beaufort, the building is demolished.
Yes.
For Content, Caincara, and Ashton, the roofs and windows went.
Stick up in. So for Beaufort, the structure was it concrete?
Stones.
Stones.
Right.
And the breeze blew on the stone.
Yes.
Which was 190 years old.
Yes. Yes.
Ridiculous. When I don't know if you've done yet an estimate of the damage to not just Beaufort but the 4 churches. What's that dollar figure looking like?
So for Beaufort, the Moravian Church has an engineering team. They have gone around to do some assessment and to rebuild Beaufort. It is approximately $46 million.
46 million for one of the 4 churches.
For one of the 4 churches.
And insofar as your program of financing those costs, what plan is in train or being contemplated to get the money to do that work?
Well, we will be planning a few fundraising events, some concerts, Harvest Thanksgiving service and all of that. But as it is right now, we are awaiting our members to restore their homes first. So once the homes are restored, then we will try to see how best we can assist members.
But service still go on, though?
Service goes on. We are now in a classroom for one of the congregations. We are under tarpaulin, so if it rains Saturday night, we know Sunday morning we have to go in and sweep out water. But we are faithful nonetheless.
Pastor Brooks, tell me though, this gesture by the government to not just your churches, but to provide churches in the 5 parishes hardest hit by Melissa with this kind of assistance. Talk to me about that.
It is a great initiative, and I was happy when I saw it. It gives us a head start because, to be honest, for my congregation, we are dry. So after the hurricane, we have been doing outreach, we planned health fairs, and that has been costly. So it has cost us a lot. So the government making this initiative, it shows us that God is still providing. And if we are a people of faith, then we have to believe that God is providing through the government, and so we appreciate it.
And I say this to you, you know, I may sound like a broken record to my listeners who've been with me from the start of this series, but I can't get past the fact that I'm living in a country where a government commits to providing financial assistance to churches to give them a start up on the journey towards repair and restoration, and people criticize the decision. It's astonishing, your reaction to that.
Yes, but you see, you do good, people will complain. You do bad, people will complain. So we have to do good and trust that God will see us through.
Yes. And lastly, you know, what effort are you making to rally not just the church but the church community, the broader community, to help in the very important and expensive work that will have to go into getting the churches back to normalcy?
Well, as I said before, we're waiting until all the homes are restored, and then we plan to see how best we can do street meetings. That is one, because I went past a bar recently, and
a bar?
Yes, I remember a brother in there said to me, "Pastor, when you're coming to have church down here?" So we see where the community, they really want us to come. And maybe Melissa is saying to us it's time to leave the 4 walls and go out on the streets. And that we are doing now.
Excellent. Pastor Brooks, may the Lord strengthen you and your team, and all the best to you.
Thank you so much.
Excellent.
Blessings.
Good. All right. We make the switch now. The man in the pink shirt. I saw some people on the YouTube chat asking if his shirt was red or pink. It takes a confident man to wear pink, or a colorblind man, or even a blind man. I don't know. He takes his seat beside me, and it's the last time. Listen, I've known this man from I was a boy fresh out of university. No, I was a man. I came as a man, a young man, fresh out of university, right into Nationwide. He was there, yeah. And I don't think I've interviewed you as frequently as I have over the past 3-4 weeks. You not tired of me?
And you know what that has done? It has sent up your stocks.
My stocks?
Way up. I mean, if you go all over the world, you say, you know who was with George?
Yes, man. Let's talk serious business now, Minister.
Yes,
So this is the
yes.
last stop. 102 beneficiaries, and I
Right.
asked Omar Frith to just put a seal on the series of stops that you've made as you try to help churches back on the horse. And I put it to you. So today's the last stop. Reflect now on the totality of the effort to get this thing done, this initiative.
The last stop, but within
For now, in this phase.
In this phase, but I got about 20. Saying, look, I didn't get on, and
I missed the application period, and I want the assistance too.
Right, and this is something that we will have to consider. I'll have to have some discussions elsewhere. But what I deem from this, and I am impressed today. I am impressed because the quality of the representatives as members of the religion, probably 45% of them was under 40 years old.
Yes, young people.
Very young.
Yeah, man.
And it speaks volume to the kind of Jamaica that we want to build. And being around the church for the last couple of weeks, I've only given me more strength, because what this has done, there are persons who have come to me and have said to me, say to the Prime Minister, continue to do what he's doing. The church is with you. We're praying for you, and we respect this, because if you turn back the annuals of Jamaica, since we have been as a country looking at the effects of hurricane and to see the roles that government has played, no government has ever done what the Andrew Holness administration have done after Melissa. And we didn't just do it because we're trying to win souls or to win support. When we look at the geomapping of Jamaica, all sector of the country has been impacted. And some people will say, why the church? The church is probably the only one by themselves who have a greater following of support outside of the two political parties.
That's right.
The congregation of the church is huge.
And committed.
Yes. So I felt a sense of pride as the Minister of Local Government in a government led by Dr. Andrew Holness, who considered and felt that this was important for us to do. And as I said to the church in there, some of us not grateful. But the lessons that I've learned is that for Jamaica to succeed, for us to go forward collectively with the kind of responsibility and the sense of purpose that is required to build a country, that is what we need. And as we seek to map out the next phase as to how we're going to approach it, we might take lessons from the series that we have done and try to improve on it as we go forward.
So here are the few biggest constituencies in Jamaica now. So, of course, the church, the Labourite community, the PNP community, and the Manchester United community, and then Liverpool and the rest of them, right?
I don't know about any other, but Manchester United.
I know you would buy that one. So hear me now. Earlier, I spoke to the SDC's executive director, and I said to him, well, there was no blueprint for this before. This was done on the fly and put together. So he says one of the things that he will definitely improve, because he says many things have worked well which don't need any improvement, but he says when he looks back, the administrative cost, the cost to get all of this done, which was unseen, he says when he tots it up, it's a lot. So he said if you can streamline that to put even more money into the actual giving rather than the organizing to give, it could work better.
And that is true, and that is something we'll have to look at to see how best we can minimize that portion of it. But let me say that despite those challenges, the quality of the organization has been exceptionally well.
Yes, that is true. I can attest to that.
There has not been one of the 5 that we have had that has fell below expectation. Yesterday was beautiful. The week before in Trelawney, I think that one, the vibes, the spirit that was there was outstanding. And today, George, let me say this. As a country, we have paid many prices, but the price to support our churches, I remember the church is probably the oldest institution in this country.
Yeah, man.
The oldest institution in the country. And I was at breakfast at Pelican this morning, and a friend said to me, why the church, them still are cussing at him. I said, no, look, everybody can sing from the same page, and I take that by saying that the strength of our country lies in how government treats its people. You know, and this administration has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that we are definitely the government that looks in the direction that many people would not look.
I was to have asked you this from a few weeks ago, and I was contemplating this question today, so let me put it now. Usually, things like these are motivated by people in the community or people in the captive group that is set to benefit, coming to you and say, boy, why you don't do this? So I ask, this vision to see this need and to think of servicing this need this way, did the Prime Minister, was he lobbied by a group, or he just said to you, Desmond, this is what we must do?
No, we were having a discussion as to how we are going to spend the allocation to the solid waste.
The 1 billion.
The 1 billion as to how it is going to be broken down. And when we look at all the areas and then we did what we had to do, he said the churches, and I said yes, let us go ahead. And he said, work on something and come back to me. And when I worked on it and I went back to him, I said to him, let us do it through solid waste. He says no, put it through the SDC. The SDC will manage and administer the program, and that was how we reached to the point where we reached. And when I presented to him the outlay of how we want to approach it, by going, because the contemplation was how would you identify the churches and what are the methods that you're going to use.
Yes.
And we designed the form, and then we sat in the ministry and we look at it and we said, we're not going to be rebuilding church. And he emphasized that what we're going to be doing was not to rebuild churches, but to clean up, and that is why we took the allocation out of what was allotted to solid waste for the national cleanup, and that is why we titled it. But the Prime Minister initiated it, and the instructions that he gave in terms of how we should proceed and things. I wanted him to come to the first one, but he would not have been able, and he said, look, go ahead and do what you're doing and thing. And I'm really glad, because I want people to understand that we have a Prime Minister who listens. And a Prime Minister who listens, and then he will act on the things. And a lot of what we have been able to do, especially on this program, the kind of support. Because solid waste was integral also in the program. Because they came in at the end where they remove a lot of the debris from the church. So it was a response right across the board. And again, I must say, big up to my Prime Minister.
Have been around the island in the 5 hardest hit parishes. So there's an advantage for you having been on the ground, because you've seen things firsthand that can better inform your perspective as to the approach to take with various things that are necessary to put in order for the hurricane season. So it's not as if you're in town and somebody says, Minister, this is the situation there, you've seen it for yourself.
Right.
And I'm sure you've taken on a lot of information
and I've taken a lot of that. And as a matter of fact, I did tell you yesterday, I met with the disaster coordinators at a virtual meeting, and a lot of what I've seen and a lot of what we have been discussing has been taken into consideration, and in the discussions that I've been having with ADPEM, working collectively, we're going to be putting some of these things in place, because already we see what the blueprint have to look like in this hurricane season.
Driving in, you couldn't help but being struck, Minister, by the number of, let's put it in the Jamaican way, house tap, we're blue, tarpaulin. So I'm looking at those communities, and I'm saying, these communities need things that perhaps it is that the councillor through the municipal corporation can provide. There are things that the member of parliament can assist with, and there are many things that the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development may be able to assist with to get these communities back. So just stretching from the core subject here, when you look at these communities, what do you imagine will be needed from your end to assist them to get back to normalcy?
Well, I had some discussions with Minister Charles, and we're going to
That's Labour and Social Security.
Labour, because they have responsibility for the roofs program.
Right.
But I want to make the point that anybody who was registered, it might look that it is slow, but it is sure. Right? Persons who are registered, who have been registered under the program.
Important point to make, slow but sure.
Sure, but sure. It is going to happen. It is going to happen. And we're looking at something that I'm going to be working with the minister. At some point in time, we will talk about it. And that is why we are putting in place the kind of support to the Ministry of Labour, working jointly with the Ministry of Local Government to try to speed up some of what is taking place. But I want to say, once you have been registered in the system, you will be taken care of.
And I wanted to say something on this, because when you go to the communities and the people who run the shops and the bars, you know how it is. Everybody wants help, but there aren't enough resources to help everybody. So I just wanted to say something to those people who want the assistance and hear that this application is closed or this process is no longer open, but they still want the help. They can't be comforted by the fact that they don't close upon them.
Well, there are many other social programs that the government have that we will talk about in due course. We are now finalizing the small entrepreneurial grants program in the Ministry of Local Government that will be executed by the SDC.
Yes.
That is going to be targeting the parishes that have been affected, extending into Clarendon and St. Anne and some other parishes. We are going to be targeting small entrepreneurial businesses in communities that was impacted by Hurricane Melissa. We will be providing some entrepreneurial grant support for them and training. It is not just about giving you the grant and leaving you there, because you have to go through the process to manage the money, to turn over the money, right? So I will be announcing that very, very shortly. We're just fine-tuning the amount and when we're going to launch that. But that is something that is a part of the Hurricane Melissa response and rebuilding Jamaica.
Excellent. So we're out of time, but to your team at the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development, what do you want to say to them?
I want to say, a big thank you, especially to my permanent secretary. She's not here, but, I want to really thank them, and to the team of Mrs. McFarlane, the financial director, because we all sat to work out the formula as to how we're going to allocate the funding to the churches. And the SDC, I think they have done a fantastic job.
Yes.
A fantastic job. And I want to thank them, for the real support, and to say to them that, in moving forward, I am sure of the team that we have. And that is why the Prime Minister speak about, we're at the stage now of building. We're not reconstruction now, building from scratch up. And we are an integral part of that. And I want to thank them collectively for all the work that they have been doing.
Excellent. One Old Trafford?
One Old Trafford. They have taken off the old surface.
Yeah, man.
And they are relaying a brand new surface.
Brand new pitch.
Trafford. And, there are sections of the pavilion that used to leak.
Yeah.
That they're fixing all
that. And the more rat never run on the field.
No more rat, no.
Right,
So when they see it, roll out the season, especially in Champions League,
different
5 days back on track.
Excellent, sir. That's what Mackenzie, Minister of Local Government and Community Development, and a committed Manchester United fan of several decades. That's our broadcast. I want to say thanks to Norgay Banton, our producer, thanks to Nigel Austin, our videographer, thanks to Jermaine Compass, our broadcast engineer, thanks to Kimar Leroux, our driver, Kevin Williams back in the studio, Michelle McRae Smith as well, and Stephen Harker, our business development executive. This is Nationwide.
You've just heard Cliff Hughes.
Welcome to Oasis, brought to you by the New Testament Church of God, 65 Waltham Park Road, Kingston 11. The church that is one big family.